I heard about Jim. I'm sorry.
You should have come here. You should never have come to this place.
Have you gone to see Ethan?
No.
No? Okay.
No, I can't.
Sweet dreams are made of this. Who am I to disagree? I always feel like
If you are anything other than some bedtime fucking story that we tell ourselves, then you will tell me why.
Because what happens next is my favorite part.
somebody's watching me.
Hello, family. This is Ellen the Marvelous, the movie Gangstar, and this is my second review breakdown on From TV show Season 4. Here, I'm going to look further this time into episode 2, and I want to discuss you on some repeating patterns that happening and repeating themselves over and over again. Again, I focus on father's wound and more deeper on how this can affect family and in a bigger scale affects on the society. And mostly, I'm gonna focus on Tabitha's dream in Season 1 Episode 9 that now has turned into this massacre, and in this case, based on one of my tarot interpretations I've already done on Tabitha's dream based on Jungian theory of archetypes, and look into that matter from a Jungian perspective once again to show you how new age of monsters have arrived, and how the wheel is turning on people and residences on Fromland like a metamorphosis. To see that how knowledge can come at a cost. I know I'm a bit late, and it's all because of this ridiculous internet blackout in my country, Iran. As I mentioned, now we are disconnected from internet, and I have had to pass through the 7 seas and do the impossible only to upload a review for you on YouTube. Even I can't join you in live sessions or watch your reviews, only some short videos. My account is being restricted in this mood and I only can upload. Anyway, let's stop nagging and begin the discussion. Ellen always finds her way out because Ellen is marvelous. Before we begin, as ever, like and share my review to help me come up again in YouTube algorithm. And if you wanna watch more on From TV show, subscribe to my channel to support me and push that bell to get notified when I uploaded a new review and be the first one watching.
I always feel like
If you are anything other than some bedtime fucking story that we tell ourselves, then you will tell me why.
Because what happens next is my favorite part.
somebody's watching me.
The episode opens as we see Kenny asleep. He wakes up all of a sudden looking for Sophia. He hears of her crying, and as Kenny turns to the voice, he sees the door open. He jumps out panicked, and as he arrives to crying Sophia, monsters appear from woods. He brings Sophia in, yelling on her. The moment Sophia mentions on her father's death, Kenny shocks on himself. And before he has any reactions, she throws herself into his arms. No one couldn't believe that she had killed that priest who she calls her father with her own hands. Exactly gets sympathy from Kenny. The moment he sees the door open, it becomes a trigger to the memory of his father's death at the clinic. This is another repeating pattern we are facing with. As this incident triggers Kenny's father and the way he died for Kenny, what brings us back again to the very beginning episode of the show. We see Tabitha and Julie by the door waiting for Jim to come back home, exactly the same with what happened to Megan and her mother at the first pilot episode. Here, this is Sophia, or better to say, the Sophia shapeshifter who has committed a murder, seems as a sacrifice and has left the door open back at the clinic for monsters to enter. And of course, these monsters never harm her. This time, this is Kenny who has manifested his fear, and his old father wound now comes to light. Again, this is Kenny's father's death we are watching from another point of view as an unresolved problem that has turned into a deep father wound, and in this situation reflects on the events and the whole Fromland residences at the same time. I bet the moment Tabitha, Ethan and Julie felt the presence of a ghost in the kitchen is exactly happening when Sophia is murdering the priest as her father. Pattern is the same, just the arrangement of events and characters has changed.
Somebody's watching this.
Back to the colony house, there is a cruel interaction between Boyd and Elgin. It seems again Boyd wants to cover up all his messes by threatening Elgin by putting the blame of Tilly's murder on him. Elgin is already enough hurt to disagree with him. Elgin believed that the truth will come out. As we know, Elgin has dreams and visions. I believe it will happen as he says Boyd is a real mess. The moment Boyd leaves the colony house, he notices of that bloody bag hanged off the motel neon board. I assumed as the highest place existed in Fromland, where they never noticed before when they attempted to build a radio tower. The only person noticed of that motel title was Henry, Victor's father, discussed about that to Ethan moments before he meets his son Victor after all these years in that cold, dreadful guilt among the snow.
Somebody's watching this.
The music box begins to play a song that begins with voices from a farm, or maybe wants to point to the bar where that main incident was happened. This is Officer Acosta, who is waking up intimidated. We see Tabitha and her children asleep yet, and this is Boyd trying to save face, looking into the mirror. The mirror is the same with the one Jasmine looked into to correct herself, the mirror that Fatima looked into and pulled out one of her teeth, and now this is Boyd looking into that mirror. Boyd comes out of the colony house. The moment he notices of that bloody bag, he leaves to the town in hurry and... Yes, let's watch this lovely From intro teaser once again, over and over again. The same old song is repeating itself over and over again because qui sera, sera. Whatever will be, the future is not ours to see. Really, the future is not ours to see.
Somebody's watching this.
As Boyd arrives by the pool, the other residences seem to be aware of the bloody bag already there. Tabitha and her children also noticed of that bloody bag hanged in front of their window. It seems all people, including Tabitha and her children, Ethan and Julie, have this sense of knowing that this is Jim's inside that bag. Tabitha felt brave enough to send Julie and Ethan away to uncover this bloody bag by her own, but not brave enough to confess her children about what happened between them into the woods. Ethan and Julie directly are going to the barn as elders are trying to uncover the body inside the bag, and the moment Tabitha opens the bag and sees those goat heads, Ethan and Julie face with Jim's hanged up body into the barn. They are screaming painfully, burst into tears as the others arrive, and this is finally Tabitha who sees Jim's hanged body and cries. Jim's body is hanged up exactly like the portrayal of the Hanged Man tarot card, which I discussed before on my Jungian analysis on Tabitha's dream, and I'm really happy that my analysis was completely correct. In this scene, as I explained before in my other reviews on From TV show, by using tarot cards as Jungian archetypes, the bloody goat head Tabitha uncovers from inside the bag is a simple childish old-style symbol for sacrifice. From the other side, children face with the portrayal of the Hanged Man tarot card with their own father's dead, heartless, ripped body. From the moment Tabitha hears of Ethan and Julie crying until she faces with Jim's hanged body is exactly explaining her dream of the lighthouse until at the top she faces with Jim's hanged body as he is asking her for help. After all, this dream turned into the worst Tabitha's nightmare in her life. Into the barn as we see Jim's hanged body in the position of the Hanged Man tarot card, which is the symbol of sacrifice and also betrayal. At the same time, there is a phrase written on the wall which we already heard from the man in yellow before he kills Jim in cold blood, reminding Jim that he shouldn't let Tabitha dig that hole. Knowledge comes at a cost. I believe the moment Tabitha dug that hole and had that dark journey with Victor through that dark tunnels, the moment she faced with that suitcase and pulled the wedding gown out of that, it happened to her as a trigger to an older wound, maybe about her own marriage, and it awakened something inside her as a doubt. And after facing with that unquit child back into that dark tunnels, an old fear caused by an old wound woke in her as she projected all those fears of losing her children into a vision of two unquit children staring at her in the first place. Into the tunnels, there was also a game puzzle that child was playing with, which next time she saw Ethan was playing with. The exact same puzzle game by the doorhouse. And as Tabitha saw that puzzle game again, another trigger happened to her and she saw those two unquit children at the same time staring at her. It seemed they were begging her for help. This vision happened to her 2 times. One time when she was at the barn storage with Julie, next time, as I mentioned before, with Ethan by the doorhouse. These visions both have been created, or it's better to say being projected by her old wound of losing a child, Thomas, into 2 unquit children as Ethan and Julie. Her 2 children she has to save. Instead, she's chasing after saving those unquit children she believes are locked up in the lighthouse.
Somebody's watching me.
I believe Victor exactly knew what would happen to Tabitha because he gave her his beloved lunchbox only because the address inside and wanted her to bring his father with. In the other words, by sacrificing Tabitha at the lighthouse as the boy invite threw her out of the window, he gave her that opportunity only to bring his father back with her, and even didn't let Henry to show Tabitha the main bottle tree that was located in the park, where he claimed that they had this tripping journey or something like that. Tabitha came back to the town in a Jim Possible phenomenon, and as she brought Victor's father into the town, according to the rule of balance in Fromland, a father had to leave the town.
Victor! Victor! What are you doing?
I'm dragging this bed into my room.
I can see that. You want to tell me why?
It's for my dad. We're gonna be roommates now.
Here, let me help with you. Sorry about the noise.
It's okay.
It's been a while since I've had a roommate.
I'm sure you'll figure it out.
And as Tabitha began that bottle tree research with Jade and instead protecting her own family, grew into a vision with Jade only to believe there are some children sacrificed needed to be saved. Unquit children told them that they have had been here over and over again to save their own child which they had sacrificed before. But as Boyd said to Jade later, how it was possible to save children who are already dead. This is a very important fact, points to the very important part of the story and their journey. They have to finally understand that they are repeating the same mistake over and over again. This is the reality. How they could save their children whom already dead. In season 3, this is Jim hears of the phone ringing. He answers the phone. There is a young boy talking to him, tries to trigger him by naming himself Thomas, his dead son. But he never believes in that voice and he protects his children, Ethan and Julie, as he is looking for Tabitha. Jim was a real strong man and he was the one who was aware, and just because of Henry, Victor's father's arrival to the town, just because of Tabitha obsessed with her visions of those unquit children and her discovery of the past maybe, however, just because of digging that hole which caused all those exposures and confusions, had to pay the price which was Jim, just because she ignored him back into the forest, humiliated him and triggered his worst fear maybe as an old past wound. maybe by being humiliated by Tabitha's father, and this is all based on their first interactions and dialogues at the RV before they arrived to the fallen tree in the middle of the road. They were talking about Tabitha's parents when they visited Jim for the first time. It seemed Jim was satisfied with their first meeting. But was that real or a reaction out of fear? Maybe he only needed Tabitha to recognize him even once again, and just because of that, he wished to go back to those times when was not like this. The moment Tabitha left her alone in the forest and spoke of those words, she triggered his worst fear. Maybe rejection from Tabitha's father turned into a man in yellow whom sacrificed him in front of Julie, who was there from the future, maybe by going to that old altar in the forest to save his father and fails. The man in yellow mentions on the fact that the story has been written before and she can't change the past and save her father.
What do you want?
I want you to play.
Afraid of you. Don't touch me, don't touch me.
Hey! You okay?